shattered grace, wore every scar like battle paint. They tried to erase my name, my face, but I carved it deep in myth and flame. I stood alone in shadowed halls where whispers turned to sharpened knives, but I held fast through every fall and stitched my soul with rebel light. They built their thrones on borrowed gold while I was forged in fire and stone. They called me lost, too fierce, too bold, but I was never theirs to own. I was a silence they couldn't break, the fall line they refused to see. But now I rise with every quake and claim the ground beneath my feet. I'm right where I belong, on the edge of the sky, with fire in my veins and stars in my cry. I built this throne from broken stone, made exile feel like home. I'm right where I belong, unshaken, unbound. The storm was mine to ride, not drown. Let them watch me blaze, let them hear my soul. I'm right where I belong. They drew their lines in velvet dust, told me to shrink, to fade, to kneel. But I was born of iron and trust, of truths too wild for them to feel. They crowned their queens with silent grace while I wore storms upon my skin. They feared the fire in my face, the voice that roared from deep within. I lit my path with rebel light, each step a spark, each breath a flame. I didn't fit, and that's my right. I'm not their echo, I'm my name. Let the winds howl, let the ground shake. I'm the anthem no cage can take. Cracked earth, neon skies, phoenix flight. I stand in power, bathed in love. I'm right where I belong, on the edge of the sky, with fire in my veins and stars in my cry. I built this throne from broken stone, made exile feel like home. I'm right where I belong, unshaken, unbound. The storm was mine to ride, not drown. Let them watch me blaze, let them hear my soul. I'm right where I belong. I'm right where I belong. I'm right where I belong.
Happy Saturday, everybody, and I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I am your wonderful host, Wheels, and let's just get right into it. You see what the title says, Marimar Martinez versus ICE. This would be the Chicago woman who was shot 5 times by Border Patrol agents during, well, we know why they were there. I'm going to bite my tongue on that. But she was accused of ramming one of the Border Patrol agents' vehicles and then shot 5 times and physically drug from her car. You know, just recently the charges against her were for basically insufficient evidence. So I've been trying to find footage of the incident, but I have not been able to find it. I don't know if that got scrubbed from YouTube or what, but I've pulled up several articles on the incident, and we're just gonna go right into it. Let me pull it up. All right, you can see my tab here. And this is off of Homeland Security's website. This article is dated for October 4th of 2025, which is when the incident happened. This morning, Border Patrol agents were ambushed by domestic terrorists that rammed federal agents with their vehicles. The woman, Marimar Martinez, driving one of the vehicles, was armed with a semi-automatic weapon and has a history of doxing. She took defensive fire from CBP agents and has been discharged from the hospital. Excuse me. And is currently in the custody of the FBI. The driver of another vehicle, Anthony Ian Santos Ruiz, was involved in the ramming, has been apprehended by law enforcement. The scene became increasingly violent as more domestic terrorists gathered and began throwing smoke, gas, rocks, and bottles at DHS law enforcement. Another domestic terrorist was arrested for assaulting CBP at the scene, following J.B. Pritzker, who is governor of Illinois. Following J.B. Pritzker's refusal to allow local police to help secure the scene, Secretary Noem has deployed special operations teams to restore law and order. As our ICE agent and law enforcement was the shooting, a domestic terrorist followed them and rammed their vehicle in an attempt to run them off the road. This individual has also been arrested and is in HSI custody. I mean, that's something totally different than the stuff that I have read. By the way, link is posted in both chats. So anybody watching on either platform is more than welcome to up and voice their opinion on stuff. So, oh, let's take a look here. All right. I have two people bush camping. Yeah, it is what it is. Can't get big if you don't start small. Or a reversion of that is to get somewhere big, you have to start small. So that's what I'm doing. I'll get people in here, one viewer at a time. Now, all this with Border Patrol being uh, put put in places where they shouldn't be. I mean, technically, Illinois does not border Canada, and damn sure does not border uh, Mexico. So why would Border Patrol agents be needed in a city that to me, honestly, that's just Washington trying to flex its muscles in a contest of saying, trying to see who has the biggest muscles. Well, in my opinion, the shooting of this woman uh, you know, was unwarranted because I have seen the footage. I just, like I said, have not been able to locate it, which leads me to believe that the government somehow is involved in any footage of that being scrubbed from the internet in an effort to make themselves look better. That's just my opinion. I'm sure other people have different opinions, and that's what's great about this country, that we have the right to those opinions until that right gets taken from us by a pompous and arrogant, well, Cheeto in the White House. But let's see, let's go right on to the I'm looking here. Hold on. Uh don't want that. All right, I think I found some here. I Let me get it to load. This video is 46 seconds long. I don't know if it shows any of the footage or not, but well, we shall find out. All right, here we go.
Video footage obtained by the Chicago Sun-Times appears to show 3 of the vehicles were involved in an incident Saturday in which a Border Patrol agent shot a woman and officers say she ran a federal vehicle. The incident led to protests in which federal officials tear gassed and fired pepper balls at the crowd that gathered in its aftermath. In the video captured by security cameras at a tire shop on the 4000 block of South Kedzie, a white Chevy Tahoe, which was driven by Border Patrol agents, is closely followed by a black GMC Envoy and a silver Nissan Rogue. The cars match descriptions and photos included in a federal complaint filed earlier this week that alleges were followed by, quote, a convoy of civilian vehicles, unquote, and says the GMC was driven by Anthony Ian Santos Ruiz and the Nissan was driven by Marimar Martinez. The feds earlier said 10 cars in total were involved in tailing them, but it's unclear from the video if that's the case. In the video, the silver Nissan can be seen pulling alongside the driver's side of the Tahoe and at times crossing into an oncoming traffic lane. The black GMC can be seen closely following the Tahoe as they pass the tire shop. The cars go off-screen. The collision and shooting is not captured on the video. Neither federal officials nor attorneys for the 2 charged on the video Monday night. But Christopher Parente, Martinez's attorney, alleged in a court hearing Monday that another video taken from an agent's body camera shows an agent turn a federal vehicle into Martinez's vehicle and then say, quote, do something, bitch, unquote. The agent then can be seen exiting the vehicle and shooting Martinez 7 times, Parente told the court. This story is developing, so stick with the Chicago Sun-Times and WBEZ for more information.
Okay, the footage that they were talking about that shows Border Patrol ramming Martinez's vehicle is the footage that I seen, and I seen that within a few days of the incident happening. That, like I said, that's footage that I've not been able to find. So, uh, you know, now have seen conflicting reports on whether she was shot 5 times or the video that we just watched shows that she was or says that she was shot 7 times. Um, but so that the actual amount of that she had from the incident varies from report to report. So at least we do know that she was shot. Article I read um, the day that the excuse me, charges were dropped was quite interesting. I wish I had thought to save that link, but it stated in that the Border Patrol agent's vehicle had been taken somewhere out of state to be repaired. So, I mean, why would you take it somewhere else to be repaired if you aren't trying to hide something? That's, like I said, that's my opinion. Um, Everyone is entitled to their own opinions on things. Um, like I said, that's what's so great about this country. There we go. I feel for this woman. Oh, and that's right. There was a text message boasting too. We'll jump right in to that, and hopefully, uh, somebody will jump into the chat and maybe jump up on panel with me that might have a varying opinion to this. Oh, There we go. Oh, why is it doing this now? Okay. I can't get rid of the drop down. Sorry. Uh, there we go. This was dated November 5th, which was 31 days after the incident. A federal agent who shot a Chicago woman multiple times after he said she struck his vehicle with her own bragged about his shooting skills in text messages with other agents, according to records presented Wednesday at a hearing in the case against the woman. U.S. Customs and Border Patrol agent Charles Exum shot U.S. citizen Marimar Martinez, who was warning others about immigration enforcement agents in Chicago's Brighton Park neighborhood, 5 times on October 4th after their cars collided. Martinez said the federal agent's vehicle rammed her car, which is supported by the video that I said I have seen, which showed she was going one way on the street. The Border Patrol agent was going the opposite direction on their side of the street. Border Patrol agent attempted to do a U-turn in the middle of the street, and in the process hit her vehicle, not her hitting her vehicle. Martinez was indicted on October 10th along with another man, Anthony Ian Santos Ruiz, on federal charges of impeding a federal officer with a deadly weapon, meaning Martinez's car. Both were released on bond and attended Wednesday's hearing. Records presented at the hearing showed that in a group signal chat with other agents, which Exum described as a support group, wrote in part, "I fired 5 rounds and she had 7 holes. Put that in your book, boys." In a message to another recipient, Exum sent a news article about the event, followed by the message, "Read it. Shot 5 times, 7 holes." When Christopher Parente, an attorney for Martinez, asked Exum what he meant by those messages, he responded, "I'm a firearms instructor and I take pride in my shooting skills." Exum testified about driving his vehicle to Maine after the incident, where repairs were made P mechanic before the defendants could examine the vehicle. See, that right there shows they're trying to hide something. Cover, CYA, cover your ass. In a response to Martinez's motion for a hearing regarding destruction of evidence, the government said that after the shooting, the FBI took photos of Exum's vehicle, a government-issued Chevy Tahoe, and paint samples of the damaged areas at the FBI Chicago office. It was then released back to Exum that evening without any special instructions, restrictions, according to prosecutors. Exum said he drove the Tahoe over 1,000 miles to uh, whatever, I can't pronounce that, in Maine, where he is assigned to a Customs and Border Protection station from October 8th to 10th, parking it at a CBP facility there. He said he later found out that repairs, including buffing out black marks, were made to the vehicle. The government presented an exhibit of an email from Exum's supervisor, Kevin Kellenberger, stating that he had approved the repairs. But in a cross-examination, Parente noted that documentation from an FBI interview with Exum contradicted that version of events, with Exum telling agents that he had asked for the repairs. When asked about the disparity between the FBI's account and his own, Exum said the agent who interviewed him had made a mistake. Lawyers for Martinez and Ruiz questioned Exum on Wednesday about whether his experience at the agency should have indicated to him that the possible value of the vehicle is evidence and the need to preserve it. Exum responded that because the vehicle was released to him by the FBI, he believed it was no longer necessary to preserve it as evidence. I call bullshit on that statement just because he is, you know, a border patrol agent, therefore he's law enforcement and he should have known better and that it was done to cover his ass. After the collision and shooting on October 4th, a crowd of protesters gathered around the scene on the southwest side of Chicago, and agents responded by deploying tear gas. The incident came amid an ongoing immigration enforcement surge in the Chicago area, directed by the administration of, I'm not even going to say his name, we know who he is, that began in September, and the administration termed Operation Midway Blitz. Okay, that, there we go. There we are. Froze up for a second there. Checking here into the two people bush camping. You don't have to be afraid. You can say something in the chat. If you're not blocked, that is. So, but if you're one of the people that's on my block list, I enjoy that very much. This is not going to be a long stream if people don't join the chat to voice opinions on this, because I'm down to my last article as it is on the incident. Okay, what's this? I hate ads on stuff. I really do. But I understand people got to make money somehow. Let's go back there. No. Pause. There we go. Let's just go straight into the next video. Share screen. Let's go. This video is 3 minutes and 16 seconds long.
And the same day, 2 Chicagoans charged after allegedly using their vehicles to ram into federal vehicles. The Department of Homeland Security says there was another alleged vehicle ramming incident just blocks away, and that one was caught on video. Tonight, the Department of Homeland Security says there were 2 separate alleged incidents of drivers using their vehicles to ram into other vehicles with federal agents. According to a federal criminal complaint, Marimar Martinez and Anthony Ian Santos Ruiz used multiple vehicles to strike a vehicle driven by federal agents in Brighton Park yesterday. Prosecutors say Martinez and Ruiz used their vehicles to box in the agent car. Court documents say an agent, unable to move his vehicle, got out and fired about 5 shots at Martinez. DHS says yesterday Martinez allegedly attempted to run over agents and was armed with a semi-automatic weapon. Martinez drove off, but paramedics found her at a repair shop about a mile away from the scene. An ambulance took her to the hospital where her gunshot wounds were treated. Ruiz also drove away, but prosecutors say police found him and his vehicle at a gas station about a half a block away. This video, captured by a witness shared with ABC News, was taken at Kedzie and West 40th Street. We slow it down to show a uniformed officer pointing a gun. Ruiz's SUV is also seen at the gas station. Documents say it's the same gas station where agents later detained him. Prosecutors say the 2 were allegedly part of a convoy that followed agents after a CBP operation. And tonight we're learning of a second incident involving a driver allegedly ramming a federal vehicle. This video captured from about 6 blocks north. Here you see the driver of a black SUV ram into the back of a white pickup truck with flashing blue lights. It's not clear who is driving the SUV. The SUV chases the pickup down Kedzie towards the direction of protesters. A second black SUV slams into the first one, and what appear to be uniformed officers jump out. That video has been viewed with the claim it showed the original attack on federal agents, but DHS says it's from another, what they called, quote, vehicle assault. DHS also says that unidentified suspect is in federal custody after attempting to run ICE agents off the road. Several agents were taken to the hospital, but it's unclear how they're doing tonight. As for Martinez and Ruiz, both are in custody, charged with assaulting, impeding, and interfering with a federal law enforcement officer. Karen.
Thank you. And Chicago police replied to reports that they did not respond to yesterday's incident in Brighton Park neighborhood. CPD says they did respond to the shooting scene to maintain public safety and traffic control, but they say federal agencies are leading the investigation. CPD also says they responded to 2 hit-and-run calls involving federal agencies later yesterday afternoon. The department released a statement saying, in part, as we have made clear before, we will respond to call service and enforce the law when crimes are committed. For incidents in rural immigration enforcement, CPD supervisors will respond to the scene and determine the appropriate course of action in accordance with law.
Excuse me. Wasn't aware of all what that particular video had to say, but you know, it's just Border Patrol should not have been in Chicago. There was no need for them to be there. The so-called attacks on Border Patrol agents, that's uh, you know, because Border Patrol didn't need to be there. You know, if somebody has a rebuttal for that, one of the bush campers, please take the link that's pinned in both chats and jump up and voice your opinion or voice your concern on it. I do have one more article to pull up, and then I guess that will be the end of the stream unless someone wants to jump up and say something to go with it or against it. So, here we go. Let me pull that up. Okay, here we are. That wasn't there when I pulled it up before. That sucks. Okay, I guess I'm not gonna read that article. Let me see here. Oh, got it. Got it off of there. Okay. Let's go back and try that again, shall we? Okay, here we go. Body camera video of a Border Patrol agent involved in the shooting of a woman who was allegedly chasing agents in Brighton Park over the weekend shows an officer saying do something witch with a B before pulling over and shooting the woman 5 times, the woman's attorney said in federal court. The video appears to contradict the government's allegation that Marimar Martinez drove towards officers before one of them opened fire on her late Saturday morning on Kedzie Avenue near 39th Street. Her attorney, Christopher Parente, said at a detention hearing at the Dirksen Federal Courthouse. U.S. District Judge Heather McShane denied a request by the federal government to detain Martinez and Anthony Ian Santos Ruiz pending trial. Martinez and Ruiz, who wore orange jumpsuits for the detention hearing, were charged Sunday with felony assault of a federal officer. The judge said it is a miracle that no one was more seriously injured in the incident in which Martinez and Ruiz allegedly followed agents for more than 20 minutes as they drove after conducting an operation in Oak Lawn. But she said the defendant's lack of criminal history and extensive family and community ties compelled her to release them pending trial. According to the 8-page criminal complaint, prosecutors say Martinez and Ruiz were driving separate vehicles in a convoy that was following agents, disobeying traffic signals, and driving aggressively to chase the federal vehicles. Assistant U.S. Attorney Sean Hennessy told the judge that Martinez had been following agents for 30 minutes and Ruiz had been following agents for 20 minutes before the shooting. As she drove, Martinez was broadcasting on Facebook Live for more than 2 minutes, Hennessy said. Video captures her repeatedly sounding her horn and following the vehicles. In the charges filed Sunday, prosecutors notably did not mention a loaded gun in Martinez's car that was referenced in a previous statement by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. But in court Monday, Hennessy said Martinez had a loaded firearm on the passenger side of her car but never brandished it. Martinez's attorney, Parente, said she has a valid firearm and concealed carry license. Parente also offered to play an agent's body camera video that showed the shooting, noting prosecutors did not show the video that he claimed disputes the government's version of the shooting. Parente said the video shows an agent turning a federal vehicle left into Martinez's vehicle, after which an agent says do something, which with a B. The agent then exits the vehicle and shoots at Martinez. Now uh, that statement supports the video that I have seen. The video in question is, if it's out there, it's hard to find. Parente said Martinez had 7 holes in her from the shooting and that agents were in such a hurry to take her into custody at the hospital that they had to return later when Martinez began bleeding from her wounds. Parente disputed the government's claim that Martinez is a danger to the community and should be detained, saying instead that the officer who shot her was a threat. I think there's a danger to the community, but I don't think it is Ms. Martinez, he said. Martinez is a U.S. citizen, works for a school, and has several supportive letters about her character filed with the court, Parente said. Ruiz is also a U.S. citizen and self-employed as a DJ, his attorney, Ben Horowitz, said. The shooting led to a heated confrontation between federal agents and nearly 100 protesters. It was one of several protests that have flared up since the president's administration kicked off Operation Midway Blitz. All right, I don't know what this video has, so we will.
Video for
Okay,
Chicago
we've done
Sun-Times.
seen that one. Yeah, that's the one we watched earlier. Okay. Yeah, that's the rest of the article talks about the video that we had watched earlier. So, in my opinion, her getting shot, I didn't see footage leading up to it. I seen footage of the incident where, like, the article, previous article had stated that the officer turned left in an attempt to do a U-turn and rammed her vehicle. She did not ram him. I'm not saying that she is completely innocent in this situation. If she was following Border Patrol agent vehicles, that's, something separate. But the unwarranted shooting of a woman who did not brandish a weapon that she was legally licensed, that was uncalled for. I see we got some bush campers, 3 of them, whoever you are, thanks for the views. A view is a view, but, um, we're at the 35-minute mark. So, I guess I'm going to call it since nobody wants to, hop up and speak, you know, that breaks my heart, but, it is holiday season. We are the Saturday after Thanksgiving, and people are probably out busy, uh, grocery shopping, Christmas gift shopping, so, um, I wish everybody a happy holiday season. I will not be streaming next Saturday, as that will be the Dirt Car Nationals in St. Louis, Missouri, that I intend to devote my full attention to on YouTube. So, um, to the people out there that are haters, that hate me, that think that they've won, that they've knocked me down, I got uh, one thing to say to you. I gone place they now Odon. Here's tonight's closing video.
Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Now I know what I must do. Ooh. You smile like sunrise, soft and warm, but your shadow whispered storms. You clapped when I rose from the ash, while sharpening blades behind my back. You traced my steps like sacred ground, but cursed my name when I wasn't around. You wore my pain like borrowed skin, then stitched your envy deep within. I saw the cracks in your praise, the hunger behind your gaze. You wore my triumph like a mask, but your silence always says venom in your voice, sweet as wine. You cheered my climb, but cursed my shine. You call me sister, call me friend, but you prayed for my bitter end. Venom dripping slow, divine. You wanted my crown, not my mind. You echoed my words like a hymn, but twisted them under your skin. You watched me build brick by brick, then dance when the fire hit. You drank from my cup, praised my flame, but carved your throne with stolen fame. You wore my triumph like a crown, then smiled as you tore it down. I gave you light, you gave me lies. You wore my wounds like a disguise. Now I see through your disguise. Your envy dressed in lullabies, venom in your smile, soft and sly. You kissed my hand, then watched me die. You call me sister, call me kin, but you wanted the ruin. I'm in venom, etched in every line. You wanted my fall to feel divine. You dressed your hate in velvet grace and wore my legacy on your face, but I rise with fire in my veins. Things are never meant to last. I finally saw the face behind the mask.